Hi everyone, this is Debbie from Project 39 Mini Albums, and this is my travel journal. Now this is the third edition of it. I'm not going to take you through everything, but I'm going to catch you up on where we were. I left you in Angostura, which was in Colorado. After that, we made our way to South Dakota, and so here's the page for South Dakota that tells you we met our friends at a RV campground in South Dakota near Keystone. So we took a train one day and just explored the 1880 train. We did go to Mount Rushmore. Now my husband and I had been there, but the sculptor studio was closed. What was interesting about that is it had a large sculpture of what they wanted Mount Rushmore to look like, and it had the presidents wearing suits, so it meant to go down chest high. Now the only thing you see on Mount Rushmore is Lincoln's, some of his knuckles. Otherwise they just have the heads of the presidents, which I thought was interesting. I did get my national park stamp, and I did get my first America 250 for the 250th anniversary of America. I did put the map on there, and I wanted more room to write on, so I just made a little flap on there. We did go to Crazy Horse and see that, and we also, that's my page marker, that's not there. We also spent some time in Custer State Park. They have, I think it's the third largest herd of bison in Custer, and it just is so fabulous to see all that. We of course saw some prairie dogs, and did not see any bear in Custer, but I know there were some there. I started, this was in about June, and I started painting with gouache. So this is one of the paintings. Of course I painted a bison, and from a distance the painting looks really good. I've got another one later on in the book. I used a different one I had seen in Yellowstone, which I'll show you later. I had the stamp in my stash, and I just decided to color it and add it in, and then I cut some pictures apart. That was the sign over the entrance to Deadwood, and there is Calamity Jane's statue in Deadwood. There are so many stories in that neck of the woods. Fun thing was, we left where we were to go to Deadwood. It was about a 45-minute drive. On the way back, there was snow on the side of the road. This is the beginning of June. We were not expecting snow. It didn't snow in Deadwood, but it snowed on the way from Deadwood to the Custer area. So anyhow, that was a fun area. Then we boondocked in the Bighorn National Forest area, and then headed to Cody. We went to a dinner show. It was the Cody Cattle Company dinner show. If you're ever in that neck of the woods, you've got to go. They've got a buffet with brisket and chicken and just yummy stuff. And then afterwards, you can go to the Stampede Rodeo afterwards, and that was fabulous. I haven't been to a rodeo in many, many years, so we enjoyed that. So we stayed at Cody for one night, and the next morning we got up and we headed into Yellowstone. We have friends that work in the general stores, and I had purchased some postcards and got that bag. And of course, I save all of these brochures from the different national parks we go to, and I just thought it was nice to have a pocket. Should I put it in this way? To put everything in. So our first day, we didn't see the moose. Well, of course we saw bison because there are so many. First day we encountered a grizzly. It was close to where we were camping, actually just about one campsite over, and there was such a ruckus with the elk and the bear. It just was a big ruckus, and the park rangers and whatever were all over because it was a thing. We spent 2 weeks in Yellowstone. Excuse me. We've been before. We stayed for 2 weeks last time. There is just so much to see, and there's still more to see. You can't see it all. First of all, it's 2.2 million acres, and there is so much going on. There's the historical part of Yellowstone. There's the hydrothermal features. There's over 10,000 hydrothermal features in Yellowstone. And actually, while we were there, a new one formed. So it happens all the time. And of course, the animals. There are so many animals. A little bit about this journal page. So again, I took a map because I wanted a basic outline of where we go in case somebody said, well, how did you break it apart? What sections did you use? So this map sort of shows you. I always like taking pictures of the geo survey markers, and I just added some stamps from my stash and some paper from my stash. This was us getting up early. We got up really early in the mornings, like we left around 7 or 8 to go hunting animals. When I say hunting, I mean with our camera. There's a grizzly taking a nap after foraging all day. There is a black bear. There are some pronghorn sheep. Pronghorn. There was a coyote. We saw bighorn sheep. We saw brown bears. We saw moose, bison, foxes. I mean, so many animals. It was fabulous. So we really had a good time seeing the animals. Our idea was get up early in the morning, go till about midday, come home and chill, and then go out again in the evening. And that is what we did. Of course, while we were there, it snowed. Now we're talking the middle of June, and it snowed. It was beautiful. Maybe about 2-3 inches. I don't know. They closed the road, so we stayed where we were. Now this is a picture of the Grand Canyon of Yellowstone. It's not a very good picture because, you know, it's one of those things. First of all, you have to be there, and second of all, this is cropped too much, so that's not good. In Yellowstone, there is a petrified tree. This is standing up. There were 3 of them, but over the years, and I'm talking in the 1800s, early 1900s, people chipped away at 2 of the other trees, so they're gone. So this is one tree that is standing. It's encompassed in this huge iron gate that probably is over 100 years old itself. Now we were close to a lake lodge, and this tells all about the history of it. And the history of all the lodges in Yellowstone is just amazing. Just amazing. This came from a paper collection I had, and I just thought it was nice to stick in that pocket. And then here's some more painting that I was practicing using a new medium that I've never used before. Oh, this I decided to add somewhere on one of our hikes, but I haven't quite figured out where yet, so that's just going to stay in the pocket until I decide. After we left Yellowstone, we went to the Tetons. This tells all about getting up at 4 a.m., getting to the parking lot at Schwaberger Landing, which is a very photographed area in the Tetons. We got up, there was 5 cars in the parking lot. I guess we got there at like 4:20 or so. And after the sun rises, which was about 5:20, and we stayed till maybe 6 o'clock, and we left. And the cars that had filled up the parking lot, it was just amazing. You couldn't get out with all the cars in the parking lot, but it was a beautiful area to get a beautiful sunrise picture. When we were staying in the Tetons, we boondocked real close to it because we knew we were going to get up early. Oh, and when I say boondock, I mean that is staying without electricity or water or septic hookup. It means being off the grid. And we have solar, and we filled up with water ahead of time, so we were fine. But it was worth it to get up early and take that picture. This tells you about going to the Idaho Potato Museum. It was the 3rd potato museum my husband and I have been to. I will tell you the 2 that we went to in Canada, one was so much better than this one. After we left there, we started heading to Oregon. This is the view from my RV. It looks like it's all desolate, but there was so much activity once we put the binoculars on there. It was really fantastic to see. It was extremely windy that day. Wind gusts were like 40 miles an hour, but once it calmed down, it was fine to see. We learned all about the history of this town called Rufus. There's just history everywhere you go. And that is it. That is all I have for my travel journal. Now, a little bit about the journal itself. I am using an inexpensive book. How much does this measure? 5.5 by 8.5. I didn't make a cover for it. I've got more pages to finish. I mean, I'm not even halfway through the year. I decided I'm going to make a cover traveler's notebook style once I know how thick it needs to be. This might be, 4 inches thick by the time my journaling is done. And then that way I know how wide I need it and whatnot. So that is it. There are other installments in my how I do my traveler's notebook. If you're curious about it, it's a work in progress. I feel like I'm still finding my style. But if you're curious, then go check out the other videos in the series and stay tuned. I will be updating this maybe once a month as I get a couple of pages filled up. If I travel a lot, then it'll be quicker. If I'm not traveling, it will take a little while. It depends on what sightseeing I do. But that is what I wanted to show you. I hope you enjoyed this. Please comment in the description box if this is something you want to continue to see, to find out where it is we go in our full-time RV travels. Thank you so much for watching and have a fabulous day.